to as a thank you. Wonder how much I could get for these. Chapter 8: The Aftermath of the Scalp. The fallout from the Broadway ticket scalping incident lingered in the air of the Bingham apartment like the smell of a cheap cigar you can't quite scrub out. Jeff sat on his couch, staring at the opera tickets Jennifer had handed him with a smile that was far too bright to be sincere. Opera tickets, Jeff muttered, flicking the edge of the cardboard. Who hates me that much? Truly, I want to know who I've offended in a previous life to deserve for hours of people screaming in Italian about tuberculosis. Actually, Audrey said, leaning against the kitchen counter with a smug expression, Jennifer and I fixed up that guy and girl you sold your tickets to. Remember Jack and Sheila? Apparently, they've been dating nonstop ever since you'd have bravely stayed behind to smoke cigars. They were so grateful for the seats that they invited us to join them at La Boheme. Jeff groaned. So my one act of rebellion led to a lifetime of high culture entrapment. This is why men don't take risks. Audrey, this right here, across the hall. Russell was having a much more literal encounter with the rules of engagement. He had spent the better part of a week riding the elevator up and down. A romantic vigil for a woman he'd seen once and decided was his destiny. I'm telling you, Oscar, Russell said to the doorman, who was watching him with a mixture of pity and amusement. She's the one. It's a connection. It's cosmic. It's stalking. Mr. Dunbar, Oscar replied flatly. But hey, she's in the lobby now. Russell straightened his jacket, wiped a smudge from his shoes, and stepped toward the blonde woman. Tiffany, listen, this might sound a little crazy, but I saw you get on the elevator a week ago. I've been riding this thing every day just to run into you again. Tiffany looked at him. Then she looked at the mace on her cane. You've been riding the elevator for a week. To find me? Yeah, Russell said, flashing his most winning smile. I even got the doorman in on it. If it's destiny. Sst! The sound was sharp, followed immediately by the sensation of 1,000 suns exploding in Russell's retinas. AHHH! Oh God! My eyes! Russell collapsed, clawing at the air. Who are you? Tiffany screamed, bolting for the street. 10 minutes later, Russell was sitting on the floor of the lobby, leaning against the marble wall while Oscar dabbed at his eyes with a wet paper towel. Usually takes about 8 to 10 minutes for the eyes to readjust. Russell slurred, his face a bright, weeping red. Was that her? Jeff asked, having walked into the lobby just in time to catch the tail end of the drama. Yeah, Russell wheezed. We've decided to see other people. Probably for the best, Jeff noted. Usually, Mace is a pretty clear signal for swipe left. Then it's time, Audrey said, appearing behind Jeff. Russell, my boss's sister owns a small modeling agency. She's been asking about you. I can set you up. Russell squinted through his tears. Wait, what kind of modeling? High fashion, runway, swimsuits and lingerie, Audrey answered. Russell's posture instantly improved. The burning in his eyes seemed to subside. That'll do. Oscar, did you hear that? Swimsuits. My destiny was just wearing a different hat. Chapter 9, The Single Life versus the Cage. The thing about marriage, Jeff often thought, was that it was a constant negotiation for space. Not physical space, the apartment was big enough, but mental space. The space to do absolutely nothing without being asked if he was okay or if he wanted to talk about his day. Russell, on the other hand, had too much space. He had an apartment full of things that didn't talk back, which was why he was so desperate to fill it with people who eventually threw drinks in his face. You know, I envy you guys, Russell said one night, sitting at the bar at McDuffie's with Jeff and Adam. You have stability. You have someone to tell you your breath smells like scotch before you go out and embarrass yourselves. And we envy you, Adam said, looking at his messenger bag now, his permanent work companion. You can go home and eat pizza in your underwear while watching whatever you want. I haven't seen an action movie without a strong female lead who learns to love again in 3 years. See, that's the tragedy, Jeff said, signaling the bartender for another round. The married man wants the freedom to be a disgusting bachelor, and the bachelor wants the comfort of being a boring married man. It's a closed loop of misery. Hey, Adam said, trying to find the silver lining. At least we have the 6-slice toaster. Mine, Jeff and Adam said in unison, then glared at each other. The scam was perfect, Adam lamented, until the bar mitzvah invitation came. Now I have to buy a gift for a dog. A dog. Jeff, who registers for a dog? People who want a 7-slice toaster. Jeff replied, it's all part of the game. You think you're winning, but the house always collects its tribute. Whether it's in high-def televisions, leather purses, or opera tickets, the house always wins. Chapter 10, The Cycle Continues. A few weeks later, the group was gathered at a dinner cruise, yet another fix-up obligation that Jennifer and Audrey had orchestrated to save Jack and Sheila's relationship. I can't believe Sheila would lie to Jack about her age, Jennifer whispered as they watched the couple argue near the buffet. I can't believe Jack is so shallow he couldn't deal with it, Audrey countered. Since when is it shallow to not want to go out with someone who tricked you? Jeff asked, popping a shrimp into his mouth. She told him she was 32. She's 38. That's a 6-year gap of lies. Audrey, in dog years, that's an eternity. Oh, please, Audrey snapped. Jack's wearing a cheesy earring and acting like he's a pirate. He's lucky anyone under the age of 60 is looking at him. Arg, Jeff shouted, mock poking Jack with a cocktail skewer from a distance. I'm Jack. Me and me earring are gonna go pillage the buffet. Audrey shoved him. Stop it. You're ruining the magical atmosphere. The only thing magical about this boat is that it hasn't sunk under the weight of all this passive aggression, Jeff muttered. As the boat turned back toward the Manhattan skyline, the lights of the city glittering on the black water, the group fell into a rare moment of silence. Despite the bickering, the scams, the rainforest chest hair, and the mace, they were all still there,